Vivek has a point. Bureaucracies are often bloated. Even in India, bureaucracies are bloated. You keep on funding Ukraine, and you can keep on funding Ukraine for the next 5 years. You can pour another $500 billion or $500 billion down the drain. Ukraine will not win. You can't defeat Russia. Not in that area, at least. It's not like Russia has entered Germany and then everybody's fighting Russia and then defeating Russia. No. Jai Hind, friends. I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. There's been a lot of demand from NRIs, especially in the United States of America, and quite a few of them have called me. Those who are in touch on mobile, they've called me, and there is a lot of feedback saying that we want to know about Vivek Ramaswamy and what do you feel about Vivek Ramaswamy. I'd like to first start off by saying that politics aside, I'm very proud that an Indian has been so successful. He's born in the United States of America but is of Indian descent, and I believe he's from Kerala, God's own country, and I wish him all the very best. And so he's made a few statements, some of them controversial, some of them very logical, which a person like me, an average person like me, can relate to very easily. And one thing I'll say about Vivek Ramaswamy, I've never had the opportunity to meet him. And if he becomes the president, I will never ever be able to meet him. But the man talks sense. He talks with logic. And he believes what he says. I think that's very important. A lot of politicians start faking it. Those fake smiles. Vivek Ramaswamy is not fake. He's not fake. And he gives you that impression that he doesn't care whether you like it or not. He's got something to say, he's got something in his heart, and he will say exactly like he sees it or like he feels it, without caring for how other people will feel about it. When I say this, I mean to say that this man is not politically correct. He's not going out of his way to please people. Like, for example, I have a list of what Vivek Ramaswamy said, and the first thing he said was, I'm going to shut down the FBI. Now, this is a public promise of sorts. Vivek Ramaswamy's graph and his approval ratings have been going up very steadily. And the thing which really helped him was when the Colorado Supreme Court said that Donald Trump is not going to be able to stand for elections from Colorado. I mean, he's not part of the race, at least from Colorado. And this man stood up here. He says, if Donald Trump doesn't, neither will I. And nobody else did. Amongst the Republicans, he was the only man who stood behind Donald Trump. And I'm saying, I hope he makes it. I'm talking about Vivek Ramaswamy. I hope he becomes the president of the United States. But if he does not, I hope he becomes the vice president of the United States. This man is totally committed to the cause. And he says FBI because he feels that FBI is a den of corruption. And, those values with which FBI was created, FBI does not follow those values or live up to those values any longer. He also said that major agencies that he will disband. This is Vivek Ramaswamy saying the Department of Education, he's saying it must go. He's saying the FBI, of course, we have already discussed FBI must go. Food and Nutrition Services, they have to go. Then he says Nuclear Regulatory Commission has to go, and Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives. The Secret Service, I think, is part of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms. These agencies have to go, and they're saying 44% of FBI employees will be reassigned to other federal agencies. 44% of them. And he says, I want to cut 75% of federal workforce. This could result in firing of over 1.66 million people, saving billions in federal budget. Now, see, I'll tell you what. Ladies and gentlemen, this whole thing about firing 1.6 million people, or 16 lakh, as we like to say it in India. 1.6 million people, that's a lot of people to become unemployed in the United States of America. The US, population-wise, is a very small country, population-wise. There aren't very many Americans. And but Vivek has a point. Bureaucracies are often bloated. Even in India, bureaucracies are bloated. And I wish somebody would fire. I'm not saying bureaucrats alone. I'm saying the entire apparatus of the government needs to be much, much leaner. It's become leaner, by the way. under the current dispensation of Prime Minister Modi, it's become leaner, it's become faster, it's become more professional, it's become more responsive. But I think more needs to be done, and more will be done in due course. Vivek Ramaswamy saying that 1.6 million federal employees must go home. He's looking at, I think that is also because he comes from a corporate background. Yeah. Look what Elon Musk did to Twitter. As far as firing of employees is concerned, nobody likes to be fired. Nobody wants to be fired. Nobody is like, hey, I got fired today and let's have a party. Nobody's like that. But the fact of the matter still remains, ladies and gentlemen, is that when you run a company, you have to lower your costs. Twitter is running exactly like before. To a common user, I don't know the internal working of Twitter and I'm not interested. But to a common Twitter user like me or ex-user like me, Twitter is as good as before. In fact, they've added more features here. For me, it's better than before. And I believe more than 50% of the staff was sacked by, by Elon Musk. He sacked more than 50% of the staff. So what was that 50% of the staff doing in the first place? Twitter's primary role as a company, apart from giving people a microblogging platform, is also to be a successful company. And when you say successful in the corporate sector, you mean profitable. Success is equal to profit, more or less. So this is what Elon Musk is aiming to do, and this is exactly what he's saying. Reduce federal expenditure, which is the central government's expenditure. For those in India who do not understand, reduce central government expenditure. This is what Vivek Ramaswamy is saying. And there are also other things, which are a little radical, but some of them I agree with. I think this guy, he's the dark horse. You got to watch out for this guy. He says, ban children from using social media. I absolutely agree. Little kids in India, 12, 13-year-olds with their own iPhones. I've seen it in India. I've seen it in so many households, Kids start crying, I need a phone. What's a 12-year-old doing with a mobile phone? An Apple. They have social media accounts. No. The H-1B visa program should end. He says voting age should be raised. Ukraine should make major concessions. Yes, I agree with him. Because Ukraine is not going to win against Russia. And America has realized, I don't know when Sleepy Joe, as Joe Biden is called, I don't know when Sleepy Joe will realize this. I don't know when he's going to realize this. That, you keep on funding Ukraine. And you can keep on funding Ukraine for the next 5 years. You can pour another $500 billion or $500 billion down the drain. Ukraine will not win. Ukraine is not going to win. Russia will not permit this. You have to understand this. And I don't know why Joe Biden doesn't get this simple fact. You cannot defeat Russia on Russian soil. Maximum, if push comes to shove, maybe they can push behind certain Russian divisions, which also is pretty impossible, by the way. But I'm saying, worse comes to worse. You can't defeat Russia, not in that area at least. It's not like Russia has entered Germany and then everybody's fighting Russia and then defeating Russia. No. Russia has entered a country that was part of the USSR. I'm not defending Russian invasion. I'm saying they should not have done it. The Russians should not have invaded Ukraine. But the fact of the matter is that Ukraine cannot win against Russia. There is no way Ukraine can win. There should be no national abortion plan. I don't have any view on this. I don't know. FBI should be abolished. We already discussed that. Then he says the government has told lies about 9/11. I don't know what he means. There are a lot of conspiracy theories that some people say 9/11 never happened. Well, 9/11 did happen because, my sister lives in New York and she's told me firsthand. Even if we say that all the video footage is wrong, my own elder sister has told me that yes. And she's in New York, so 9/11 has happened. But I don't know what he's implying when he says that the government has told lies about 9/11. What lies? I would love to know what lies the government has told, because based on those lies, so-called lies, that Vivek Ramaswamy's insinuation is that the United States of America, its government told lies to its own people and the world. The US invaded countries after 9/11. They invaded countries, they killed heads of state. That was the level of America's rage. And a lot of conspiracy theorists in America believe that the government is hiding something about 9/11. I'm not saying Vivek Ramaswamy is a conspiracy theorist, but I'd like to understand what all this is about. The US should end birthright citizenship. Absolutely agree with Vivek Ramaswamy. Absolutely. And I think every Western country, okay, every Western country should end this. It doesn't matter. The UK has already started taking steps. That guy from Portugal, I forget his name, he committed a crime and he was born in the UK, but his parents came from Portugal. They're sending that guy back to Portugal. They're saying, we don't want you. I think they should do that. They should simply do that. The United States of America, Canada, Australia, all these countries should have this law. You break the law, it does not matter. It does not matter. Right? Whether you're born in America or not born in America. It doesn't matter. If you're naturalized or otherwise, you go back. This I agree with wholeheartedly. I bet the Khalistanis are not going to vote for Vivek Ramaswamy. No, sir. And Vivek Ramaswamy has hit back at a reporter asking if he condemns white supremacy. And the Washington Post, oh, it's the Washington Post, obviously. Obviously. So you see, you didn't say that you condemn white supremacy, though. This is the Washington Post reporter. And so Vivek Ramaswamy says, I'm not going to recite some catechism to you. I'm against vicious racial discrimination in this country. I'm not pledging allegiance to your new religion of modern wokeism, which actually fits the test. I'm not going to bend the knee to your religion. I'm sorry. I'm not going to ask you to bend to mine, and I'm not going to bend to yours. Do I condemn vicious racial discrimination? Yes, I do. So, you know, a lot of people, they say that this guy is a right-winger, okay? This guy is like what Donald Trump was, maybe back in the day. Or he's an absolutely aggressive guy. He's very successful. He's made a lot of money. He's a multimillionaire, and he's funding his own election campaign. But he has very, very strong views. And I'm glad somebody has spoken about wokeism. This problem has entered India also. I don't know from where it came to India. I see even in Delhi people saying that, you know, about this male and female thing which is going on, this whole argument, male and female. And I don't know if I'm a little outdated, and I would request our viewers to correct me if I'm wrong and, you know, if my thinking is outdated, but I've always grown up to believe there were two genders. Somebody identifies, how can you identify with a gender? And where did this sickness come from? It's landed in India and it's getting pretty widespread. And I identify, there's a guy who's saying I identify. How can you identify as anything at all here? I identify as Hrithik Roshan now. Now what? I identify with the looks of Hrithik Roshan. I identify with the money of Ambani. And I identify with the talent of Irfan Khan. Okay, I identify with Hrithik Roshan, Irfan Khan and Ambani. Now, will you treat me like that? I don't know from where this nonsense entered India. Anyway, it's prevalent and it's a shame. Yeah, it's a shame. He says there are only two genders. And yeah, that's what we grew up to believe, there are two genders. Yeah. You're either male or female, and it's okay. You can be either. We should talk about equal treatment to genders. Right? And I'm a little old-fashioned. I believe that women should be treated with a great deal of respect. I would go out of my way to, you know, I do that often, and sometimes people say that this is very archaic and very old thinking and very traditionalist. But that's the way I am. If I meet a lady, and I will always open doors for a lady and I always pull chairs. That's the way I am. Guys don't do it, but that's how they train me in the army. So I think Vivek Ramaswamy is on the right path, and I like this guy, and I agree with at least 80% of what this guy says here. And if I had a vote, I don't have a vote. I've never visited the United States of America in my life, but if I did have a vote, I would vote for this guy. I think he makes a lot of sense. Ladies and gentlemen, now we'll take some question and answers. And Lisa. Jayan sir, I'm Lisa from Assam. How will the central government filter out such large number of applicants? The enemy might find a way to exploit loopholes in CAA and send in spies masquerading as persecuted minorities. We've seen the case of Seema Haider, who was groomed near to perfect as a lady from rural North India. Kindly educate. Jai Hind, Lisa ji, you're from Assam. I just want to tell you that there is a certain filtering process, and it's not like immediate. It's not like somebody applies for citizenship under CAA and gets it immediately. I think it's going to be 4, 5, 6 years or something like that. So there is a significant amount of time. So the government will, sort of figure out whether, this person is okay, not okay, and over a period of time, and there will always be exceptions. In any process, there are exceptions. In any process, there is no exception-proof process. So in case you do have some people masquerading as persecuted minorities and coming inside India, we can deal with them. Yeah. We can deal with them. Partha Popat. Jai Hind, Gaurav ji. Hello, Partha ji. Jai Hind to you. And I'm Partha from Mumbai. My question is that the Indian Air Force is set to get leased A330 MRTTs from France. Can we sign a deal for mutual air refueling access support with other operators such as Australia, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, South Korea and UAE? Fuel can be logged and settled mutually after tenure ends before signing a new one. See, there are 2, 3 things. All these issues, it's not about technology. This is what I feel, and I could be absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. But this is what I feel. I think it's more about diplomacy. It's not about which countries have the technology to do this and how do we settle fuel. I don't think that's the issue at all. I think there is a reason why we bought the Rafales from France. Okay? Of course, the Air Force loved the Rafales, even before buying it, because they had tested it and they had flown it and they said, wow, we love this aircraft and this is pure magic. But there were other aircraft also in the reckoning. But finally, I think all these deals, they're also made with an eye on what are the diplomatic benefits to India, which can be accrued out of this transaction. Now, India will buy $3.5 billion worth of drones from the United States of America, or $3 billion worth of drones. India will do it strategically, right? India will buy something from Israel, because if you're a customer, right? If you are a customer and you're paying big money, billions of dollars to buy weapons and equipment, or even refueling, etc., etc., it is not a simple transaction. Take 5 billion, give us S-400. It's not like that. Sure, S-400 is a fantastic platform, perhaps the best in the world in its class. And $5.5 billion is big money. But it's not a simple transaction. It has a lot to do with geopolitics. It has a lot to do with, how India wants to take forward its relationship with Russia. So this is essentially a relationship building also apart from technology. So ladies and gentlemen, with that, we come to the end of my video today. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.